Hi friends, welcome to this latest episode of the Nationalist View. We have with us a very special guest, Mr. Bipin Dev. Professor Bipin Dev is from Nepal and he is a geopolitics expert and he writes extensively and comments on it also. He also appears on a number of international television news channels as well as podcasts. And he has been with us before. And today we are going to discuss on a wide variety of issues dealing with South Asia, but we'll begin with Nepal. First, I want to welcome Bipin Devji. Thank you so much for joining the show.
Thanks for having me, Anandji.
Sir, my first question is that there is a new government in Nepal now, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has already extended an invitation to Balen, Nepal's new Prime Minister, to visit India. So there has been blow hot, blow cold relationship between Nepal and India over the last few years with change in governments. So how do you see the Nepal-India relationship in context of the current government?
Thanks for your nice and wonderful questions, Anandji. Uh, Indo-Nepal relationship is in fact very complex, very challenging. Uh, to some extent, it is easy to, if it is handled with maturity and diplomatic skills. Uh, at present, government of Nepal has been just like in search of investment, in search of exploiting its natural resources. And the people have lots of expectations and aspirations for development. We accept the point that without help, assistance of our neighbors and friendly countries, Nepal cannot go on the path of progress and prosperity. Therefore, Indo-Nepal relationship is unique and it has layer upon layer of relationship. There are 40 channels operating to maintain the Indo-Nepal relationships. Uh, Foreign Minister of Nepal and Foreign Ministers of India have met in Mauritius, and Dr. Jaishankar has extended invitations on the behalf of the Prime Minister of India to the Prime Minister of Nepal, Balen, and he has accepted. And it is a matter of good news that he plans to visit India after necessary preparations. Because without preparation, only courtesy and formality do not yield any result. Therefore, government of Nepal is planning to make necessary homework in order to visit Delhi, so much so that aspirations and expectations of people of Nepal can be addressed. Actually, this is the right climate for Nepal to progress in the sense that there is a stable government. Uh, People have um, given cooperations and mandate to the government to functions in a very creative way. So, in this context, I think that we should expect that Nepal and India relationship will go on a proper track. And what actually happens is that just like previously in the election, anti-India activities, anti-India slogans used to operate. But in these elections, you see the diplomatic issues of China, issues of India has not played any significant role, especially in motivating the voters. So I think that Indo-Nepal relation is on the proper track, and just like in the days to come, the Balen Shah would visit Delhi, and there are three sectors in which Indo-Nepal relationship has to be focused. First is the connectivity. Connectivity is the major factor. Uh, it is the connectivity that would pave the way for the progress and prosperity. Second is the exploitations of the hydro potential of Nepal's. So many political slogans and activities are taking place around the periphery of the hydro. So hydropower sectors, and third is the tourism. Third is the tourism. Tourism is also one of the major factors in which the two countries can work together, and particularly Hindu tourism is just like if Hindu tourism would be encouraged and Nepal government would make the necessary just like arrangement, I think that the days are not far away that Nepal would make economic progress. As you have seen that particularly in ASEANs have grown because of the uh, I mean, tourist activities. So Nepal has wonderful climate, and there are many sectors. There are many sectors in which Nepal and India work together. Medical tourism is also one of the sectors, and there are many sectors we can talk about the potentialities and possibilities. Particular one podcast. So many sectors are there. It is up to you, Anandji.
Yeah, sir, have talked about the economic progress of Nepal. Now, if we look at currently the economic scenario, first about Nepal and then also about the larger issue, which is emerging out of Middle East crisis right now, but we call the West Asia in this part of the world. So, on February 28th, the Iran war started. And after that, we have seen a lot of developments. So one, I want to know that how Nepal is handling the impact of the Iran war, and then I also want to know how do you see Pakistan's role in terms of mediating this crisis? The Islamabad talks have failed so far, and it is also very ironical that a country which is very well known to be a hub of Islamic fundamentalism and terrorism, so it is trying to play the role of a peace negotiator. So nothing could be more ironical than that. Because when it comes to negotiations, the authenticity of the negotiator also happens to mean a lot. There is also another viewpoint about which I want you to comment on this answer that uh, actually Pakistan has just provided kind of a neutral venue. It is not the key architect of this negotiation settlement. As you know, one of the experts I spoke to said that Pakistan has just provided the tables and chairs for the negotiators. So, sir, how do you look at how the impact of Middle East crisis or West Asia crisis on Nepal and the role of Pakistan?
Nepal has a great deal of interest in the West Asia, whether you call Middle East. Particularly large number of the people, 20 lakh people are working in West Asia. We have great deal of the remittance from there. Our families, friends, kids and kins are there. So naturally, we are much more concerned, particularly in Qatar, UAE, Saudi Arabia, rather than the Iran. We are much more concerned. As far as in my view, in my personal observations, there are two important facets in which we have to just like dive deep in order to understand the complexity of this very war. As long as Iran would evoke uh, Hezbollah, Houthi, and Hamas, the war against terrorism would not stop in the Middle East. It is obvious because moment and these very groups, terrorist groups, frankly speaking, they not only hit Israel, they also hit Saudi Arabia and other developed countries, economically vibrant countries, because they totally depend on uh, antisocial activities like violence, vandalism, destructions are the part of their activities. And Iran, just like in fact, plays just like regulates. Iran is a remote controller, guardian of these very activities. So first and foremost, Iran has to just like stop these very activities which are against the interest of these West Asian countries as well as Israel. Number one. Number two, just like what happens in Middle East, another problem is the United States of America. United States of America, for a long period of time, has the policy of divide and rule. So United States has also not been fair, particularly in dealing with the just like these very West Asian countries. Not only United States, if you talk about when Iran-Iraq war took place for a long period of the time, Soviet Union and United States Both these superpowers aid, abet, and instigate the war for a long period of the time. So my point is here to say, in order to create the peace and tranquility in the Middle East, the just like this very stepmotherly and big brotherly behavior of superpowers have to be stopped. Third important point, particularly in the complexity of the Middle East is concerned, you find it has been horizontally and vertically divided on the line of Shia and Sunni. And on the basis of Shia and Sunni, the politics takes place. And this very, as long as you will not keep the religion and politics separate, the politics cannot be totally filtered. Religion should not dominate the politics. State management should not be handled by the religious gurus and fanatics. This is the reason that fanaticism and fundamentalism grew up. I like to share you that Saudi Arabia has asked Pakistan to send only those very soldiers who believe in, who practice the Sunni religion, not Shia religion, with the fear that soldiers having the Shia faith would have inclination towards Iran. So look at it in the composition of this very army and soldier. If this type of sentiment would be injected in their vein, how can the soldiers fight for the nations? You see. So my point of view is that religion is. I do not call in the Hindu sense that this is the religion. This is the fanaticism, rather we can say. These very fanatic ideas should not just like play any role particularly in the politics. These are the factors. And another factors, particularly the Middle East crisis, which countries are victims? Let us watch critically. South Korea, uh, China, I would describe India, Japan. These countries are on the path of progress and prosperity economically. And when the crisis takes place, these countries suffer from serious setback. And United States of America, in fact, just like fish in the troubled water. So, so just like one of Jeffrey Sachs, one of the American thinkers, had just said, the Putin, Shipping, and Modi, this very towering personality should interfere, should manage, and should handle the Middle East crisis in the interest of the humanity and humankind. These three towering personalities should exert their unprecedented and unsurmountable pressure on Trump, Trump and Irani leaderships to handle this. And another point that Anandji, I like to tell you, the people are just like developing the narratives, which is not, in fact, a lot. Some of the media also just like talk about these views. Look at the penetration in Iran. Just like top leadership has been wiped out. So no matter Iran claims that it is a strong, it is fighting, it has won the war. So look at what type of a structure that army and intelligence has, that top leadership, including the head of a state, has been wiped out and it could not do anything. So look at the penetration of Mossad inside the Iran. So my point is here to say that just like in the 21st century, we find there are so many hot spots. Just like one is you find Taliban in Pakistan's, another is Taiwan. Even we have the Galvan problems, and just like there are many hot spots. And if these very superpowers and major powers of the world behave in this way, particularly countries of global south would suffer serious setback economically. The In the post-COVID, many countries have not come on the track in terms of their economic activities. Now, second part of your question is much more interesting. That is Pakistan. You find Pakistan is a country which has suffered from serious setback because of the just like terrorist activities. 10,000 terrorist attacks have taken place in 2025, as I have gone through report. The major problem in the Pakistan, the 2 crores children are not going to the schools. Imagine what would happen after 25 years about these very 2 crore children. They would become fundamentalists, fanatics, terrorists. So, I mean, another problem that Pakistan has, it is under the pressure of Balochistan's Sindh crisis are taking place. The war against Taliban continues. I mean, just like the Duran line is a bone of contention between the two countries. In the background of it, just like Pakistan is posing the United States of America has just like praised world in high esteem, particularly the field marshal. The field name field marshal, it is itself very ironical. We have to just like give the fresh glance to the situation of Pakistan. You find in Pakistan, just like fundamentalism, fanaticisms, terrorisms are the part of the day-to-day activities. In the 2025, Pakistan has 10,000 terrorist attacks, just like sometimes in the name of Shia and Sunni, in the name of Baluchistan, in the name of Sindh, Tahrik-e-Taliban, and there are many I mean, there are many just like organizations operating inside the Pakistan on the variety of the issues. Pakistan has a problem with the Balochistan, Sindh, as well as it has external problem with the Taliban, Afghanistan. Um, at the same time, what happens? Religion has dominated the way of life of Pakistan to such extent that 2 crore children are not going to the schools. They are not going to accept the modern educations. So imagine after 25 years, what would be the picture of the Pakistan, because these children would become the responsible citizen, and what they would turn to be fundamentalists, fanatics, and just like they would propagate, they would be radical. I mean, they would be radicalized. So this is the and Pakistan has 40 450 billions economy. In that economy, what do you find? The 250 billion it has debt, 50 billion it has of China, 5 billion it has of Saudi Arabia, and it has a loan from IMF. 20 times IMF has just like a bill, I mean, granted the loan. Just like Pakistan is one of the country which has been an example to have taken the loan 20 times from International Monetary Fund. So this is the inner situation of the Pakistan. And what happens, just like what is the reason that United States of America is encouraging the Pakistan, though Pakistan does not have credibility? Because when you play the role of the negotiator, you have to gain the goodwill and sympathy from all the concerned parties. It doesn't have the tie and relationship with Israel. It doesn't have the diplomatic relationship with Israel. No, and on the line of the Shia and Sunni, it has not heart-to-heart relationship with Iran, no matter it claims. There is a defense pact between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. And one of the clause of that very defense pact is that it is the responsibility of the Pakistan that whichever country attacks against the Saudi Arabia, Pakistan has to retaliate. Now Iran is attacking the Saudi Arabia. In that case, what would happen? It is the duty and responsibility of the Pakistan to retaliate against the Iran. So look at the situations. Just like it doesn't have the relationship with Iran, it doesn't have the relationship with Israel, and at the same time, how is its relationship with the United States of America? Just like uh, just like America has in the long span of the history, just like either it is in the on the issue of Afghanistan, it is on the issue of Iran and Iraq war. Uh, it is on the issue of when George Bush attacked against the Iraq, Saddam Hussein. So Pakistan army has always just like lent its support to United States of America. Some of the commentators have said that it is not the Israel, it is the Pakistan which has been the 51 states of the United States of America. Because Pakistan army has in fact always in the 1970s it has just like done necessary homework to just like create the good relationship between Henry Kissinger and then in China. So it has been the tool. So in that sense, the we it would not be out of place to say that the Pakistan, no matter Trump says that Field Marshal is the great, Asim Munir is great, and Sharif is a great, but under the cover of it, what we find, just like Pakistan has been made only tool. Pakistan does not have that very credibility to bridge the gap of this very crisis. But in the name of humanities, we are Hindus, we are very broad-minded. In the name of peace and prosperity, whoever plays whatever role, we have to appreciate it. After all, the Pakistan is our neighbors, and just like it, first it has to stop the terrorist activities, it has to accept the modern society. That is my comment, Anandji.
Yeah. So, sir, my last question is, how do you look at India's foreign policy in this regard? Because there are two viewpoints about it. One viewpoint is that, in context of the Middle East crisis, India has stretched the fine balancing line very skillfully, because it still has communication channels open to all the stakeholders. Also, India interestingly enjoys good relationship with and historical relationship with both Iran as well as Israel. So, one viewpoint is that. The other viewpoint is that India is not in the game, and that's a big blow to India's foreign policy and India's claim to be emerging as a superpower, or India's claim in the recent past to be emerging as a key global player on the map. Though the Finnish Prime Minister also has talked about, the role India can play, the European Union has also talked about it, but Pakistan seems to be in the play, and India seems to be out of the play. This is another narrative which is there in the public discourse. So, how do you look at both these narratives, and for you, which narrative holds better?
Anandji, this is a very complex and very challenging questions, in fact. In the media, you find Pakistan has been praised to the sky, telling that the Pakistan has been peacemaker, and even many Indian commentators have said that Indian diplomacy has failed because it ought to have played the role of the bridge between East and West, between the Middle East and the United States of America. Modi has a towering power; he should play very important role. Something in my observation, this is the uh, not the realistic picture of the geopolitics. In the chessboard of the diplomacy, India has very important role to play. It has to play of balancing roles because it in diplomacy is not the matter of sentiment and emotion. Diplomacy is based on the core national interest. Therefore, what India has to do is it has to safeguard its national interest. As far as its national interest is concerned, just like 1 crore people are working in the Middle East. So it has to be in the good book of each and every country because Indian citizens are working over there. Number one, it has defense tie, very important tie with Israel. In all wars of India, it has Israel which has stood with India. At the same time, based on the Parsi culture, Sufi culture, Iran has a civilizational tie with India. Even on the issue of Kashmir, it is Iran which has stood with India, condemning and criticizing the policy of Pakistan. At the same time, you find that in terms of technology, in terms of the capital, in terms of the diaspora, it has very important relations with the United States. So, what India has to do is that it has to balance. And as far as if India just like intervenes, and India just like tries to play that very peace broker and something like that, mediators, present geopolitical situation does not permit India to play that type of role. Because you find there are many commentators with whom I keep on discussing, telling that United States has um, helped Pakistan a lot. My observation is quite different. So I think that uh, keeping the broader picture in mind, whatever Indian diplomacy is doing, that is praiseworthy, because uh, prime minister and foreign ministers, they have had the interactions at all levels with the leadership of Iran, with the leadership of Israel, with the leadership of United States, and with the leadership of other just like GC countries. So in that context, it has to play. India is playing very mature role in diplomacy. So this is the reality. This is the geopolitical demand of the day. Look at the people compare Pakistan and India. So why people are not comparing India with the China? Imagine for time being the economy, the role the India has. It should not be compared with the Pakistan. Because what happens in the negotiations, particularly Scandinavian countries, Norway, Netherlands, Pakistan, I mean in South Asia, Pakistan, these type of small countries which depend in terms of economy on other countries, they play these types of the roles because their leaderships do have that type of weightage. Uh, just like we cannot expect from Putin, we cannot expect from the Xi Jinping, we cannot expect from Modi to just like a messenger going from one country to another country, just like giving the letters and taking the letters and something like that. So it is immature to compare uh, present leadership of India with the Pakistan. India is a democratic country. It has bigger responsibility. What India says matters a lot. Whatever India has done, especially with regard to peace and tranquility in the Middle East, it is right, it is appropriate, and it is the demand of the day. So Indian diplomacy should not be compared with the diplomacy of Pakistan. If we would like to compare, then we should compare with the China and Japan and other big countries. Uh, and this is my observation. It is up to you, Anandji.
So thank you so much, sir, for decoding this complex situation and bringing out all these fantastic points. And this is a rapidly developing story, the Middle East crisis or the West Asia crisis, and we'll keep on tracking it. And we hope to host Mr. Bipin Dev back soon. So thank you so much, sir, for taking time out from busy schedule and joining us.
Thanks a lot from the land of Pashupatinath.
Thank you.